Steve King is a do-nothing-but-rabble-rouse congressman from Iowa. He's also a white nationalist hero who treats whining about immigration, multiculturalism, and the changing of America's racial demographics as a full-time job. Well, this week, his hateful ideas, as well as his puke hole, got him into hot water again when he endorsed a fellow racist white nationalist in her candidacy for mayor of Toronto, Canada. Faith Goldy. Now, if you're unaware of who this sad and desperate character is, that's a good thing. It just means you don't watch a lot of InfoWars or listen to Nazi podcasts from the Daily Stormer. She's made appearances on both. She also attended the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, where Heather Heyer was murdered, and even recited the white supremacist slogan, 14 words, on video. She's been fired for being too extreme for the already far right-wing rebel media, and she's been banned from both Patreon and PayPal. She's trash. The problem is, she is dangerous trash because little, needy, unwanted, racist incels seem to hang on her every hateful thought, including, apparently, Iowa Congressman Steve King. And just a reminder about some of Lil Stevie's greatest hits to demonstrate that this isn't a one-off for him. In August of 2014, after the death of Mike Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and the protests that followed, Steve King said that he didn't have any concern about authorities racially profiling people, quote, because they all appear to be of a single origin, I should say. A continental origin might be the way to phrase that, unquote.
This idea of no racial profiling, I've seen the video. It looks to me like you don't need to bother with that particular factor because they're all appear to be of a single, of a single origin, I should say, continental origin might be the way to phrase that.
In June of 2016, he was losing his mind over the prospect that Harriet Tubman might be added to the $20 bill, saying that it was, quote, racist and sexist to say that a black woman should be added to our currency. In an effort to stop it from happening, he offered up an amendment to a House bill on the matter, saying that, quote, here's what's really happening. This is a liberal activism on the part of the president that's trying to identify people by categories, and he's divided us on the lines of groups. This is a divisive proposal on the part of the president, and mine, speaking of his amendment, is unifying. It just says, don't change anything, unquote. Ugh. Again, just don't change anything. And to wrap up this very short and very incomplete list, in July of 2016, he argued on MSNBC with Chris Hayes that non-white subgroups have contributed less to society than their white counterparts.
People business, though, does get a little tired, Charlie. I mean, I'd ask you to go back through history and figure out where are these contributions that have been made by these other categories of people that you're talking about? Where did any other subgroup of people contribute more to civilization?
Than white people?
Than Western civilization itself, that's rooted in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and the United States of America, and every place where the footprint of Christianity settled the world. That's all of Western civilization.
Well, what about Asia? I want to sit here and argue in favor of civilization. Let me note for the record that if you're looking at the ledger of Western civilization.
One more time, for clarity, since there was a lot of background noise on their open-air set. He said, quote, this whole white people business does get a little tired. I'd ask you to go back through history and figure out where these contributions that have been made by these categories of people that you're talking about. Where did any other subgroup of people contribute more to civilization? Unquote. By Western civilization, he means white people. You know, for a guy who can't shut off the hate spigot that is his mouth, constantly and incoherently yammering about the problem of identity politics, he sure is fixated on the racial identities of America. So listen, if you're in Iowa's 4th Congressional District or you know someone there, J.D. Scholten is Steve King's opponent. And he won't get elected unless everybody gets out to the polls to vote this hateful little troll out of office. The good people of Iowa are better than this, smarter than this, and too decent than to have a virulent racist and unabashed white supremacist representing them in Washington.